And welcome back to Kickin' It of Javi. As your friendly neighborhood associate editor and bringer of good vibes here at Apollo City Comics, I, Javi Martinez, am going to be interviewing fellow Apollo creators as we talk about their newest books that are coming to Kickstarter, all under the Apollo City Comics line. So on today's show, we have none other than R.D. Murphy here to join me as we're here to promote his newest and latest greatest book through Kickstarter, Living a Fantasy, Book 1. Are pretty young in your age, Ryan, and that I only bring that up because you do so much at your age. And like, even I know I'm not even that older than you, only by like a handful of years or whatever the case is, but it's like even when I was at your age, I was just starting for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now. And you are like fucking out the gate just doing shit, dude. It's insane how much you do. And
Thanks.
I just wanted to, first of all, this is R.D. Murphy. Welcome back to Kickin' It with Javi. And
Hello, everybody.
today on the show we have R.D. Murphy, and he's going to be talking to us about his newest Kickstarter for Living a Fantasy, Book 1. It's collecting the first 6 issues of his series that he's been working on for quite a while now, but it's not the first book he's made. So, R.D., if you want to introduce yourself.
That was a great introduction. Thank you, Javi, for having me on this show. I'm R.D. Murphy. Like Javi was saying, I have a Kickstarter. It's the first time I've ever done a Kickstarter for a book. It's for there. I can show some visual aids. This is the proof of the first, the self-published version of Living a Fantasy Book 1. But it's on Kickstarter right now with Apollo City Comics. The version, if you back it on Kickstarter, you'll get this plus an extra chapter plus like supplementary material like extra stuff by me, some amazing pinups by some really incredible artists that have been contributing to it. And we also or no, not yet, but we are probably going to hit our stretch goal, which will allow for everyone who backs to get a free print done by Carl Bourne. And yeah, if you want to check that out, it's on my Instagram. It looks incredible. I'm trying to see what other like free stuff we can get for all the backers, because it's really nice that everyone's like contributing and like wants to help support this book, and it means a lot to me. It's been a lot of time spent making it, and yeah, I'm excited to get it in everybody's hands.
Yeah, dude. I remember reading the copies that you had at IC3, and that was already amazing as it is. And now the fact that we can publish it through Apollo is just super exciting and just really get it out to as many hands as we can, especially with this being your first Kickstarter and you're already killing it, dude. Fucking congrats on that, first of all. But that doesn't mean
Oh,
you
thanks.
can't not back it still. Just because we've hit our goal doesn't mean we can't keep going.
Yeah, I know it's tough for everybody everywhere. If you can't afford it, I don't blame you. But if you want to, I'm planning on doing it for this series for a while. This will be like a great jumping on point. It's like the first arc. If you want to get introduced to it, introduced to my work, like if you like my work and you want to have something by me on your bookshelf, before. And again, like anyone that backs will also get like they'll get at least like a free print from Carl Bourne and hopefully some other free stuff too that is pending.
Nice. Yeah, and you know, like we both mentioned, you've been working on Living a Fantasy for quite a while. But it's not the first book you made too. And even to the first book that you made and how you're kind of almost rebooting it or like bringing a sequel to it. Like again, you do a lot. And I've always been curious, I feel like the answer is pretty universal for a lot of us in this community, but when did you start creating as much as you do now? Like when was that point for you of like, you know what? I'm just gonna do everything.
Um, I think the well, I think like a lot of people, I feel like everyone like draws when they're a kid. Like you have like art classes up until 8th grade, and like everyone's in those classes in drawing, and then once you get like out of 8th grade, you don't. There's no longer required art classes anymore, so some people just stop drawing, and that was the case for me. I remember when I was like going into high school, I someone said to me like I wanted to be an artist when I was older. Like I knew that when I was a kid, but people would tell me like, well, you're not going to make any money. It's not really like a career that's worth pursuing. So I kind of dropped it. And then once COVID came up, and I think this is relatable to a lot of people, COVID, you're in lockdown, there's a ton of free time. And yeah, for me, and I know like other people, I just like spent that time kind of rediscovering my artistic side and just like spent like all day drawing while I was in lockdown. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I I don't know why I'm like this, why I like to just do like a million things at once. It's probably like not the most healthy way to live my life, but I don't know. I get like really curious about things. Like because I've worked in like tattooing as well as like comics, and I know for that it was I got a tattoo. I met some people that did tattoos, and I was just like, how do you do this? I need to figure it out. And it was kind of the same thing with like comics. Like the comics have always been a thing that like I've been interested in, and I've always wanted to like try it myself. And yeah, you just kind of get like that bug, and you want to like just devote like a ton of time to like figuring it out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we all know a little bit about like spending too much time on working on our art. But
Yeah.
I but also on top of all the projects that you do, you also teach. And have always been curious, like, because having Jade on last episode and he himself being an art professor, I have always been curious. I was curious with him about how he transitioned from being a teacher to an artist. But it seems almost the reverse for you, where it seemed like you started off more as doing your art and then became more of a teacher down the line. And I mean, I could be wrong in saying that, but at least that's
Oh
from
yeah.
what I've seen. But like,
Oh
what
yeah, you're
was
you're you're correct.
cool? So like, what was that like? Where you were like, you know what, I'm doing all this. Maybe it's time to spread that knowledge. Like, how did that start?
It definitely started more for money, to be honest, at first, because it was like I needed a job. And I mean, I got into teaching through doing a after school program. And I mean, when I was a kid, I remember I used to do similar stuff. Like after school, you do like a basically like a club or like a um some kind of program, like for kids that are like already interested in art, or like for parents that like want their kids to have some kind of like extracurricular activity. But yeah, so I got into it doing that, and then it was actually kind of similar to like the other my other passions, I guess, where it's like I'm just like I just got curious about it, like what are the best ways to like teach someone, the best way to like engage students.
Mhm.
And so I've just kind of like kept with it, kept trying to like learn. I think maybe that's like the root of it, is like I just love to learn things. Like I love to learn artistic techniques. I also love to learn the best ways to help other people learn things. And yeah, I don't know. It's really fun now. Like I feel like when I was younger, I didn't like the idea of being a teacher. Like I feel like I don't know, maybe it's like through like movies and TV shows where it's like the idea of being a teacher is like you failed almost. Like
Right.
you weren't able to make it in that field. So like now you have to just teach it.
Like,
But
what do they say?
I don't know. It's honestly like it's been a good gig. Oh, sorry. What was that?
It's like, what do they say exactly? It's like if when you can't do it, you teach it. Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, I share a lot of those similar sentiments with you of just like wanting to just spread that knowledge and just be like, I have always thought that a good teacher is way more impactful than say most adults in our lifetime. Like if you have a really good teacher, they can have a long lasting impact on you. And sure, you might as a teacher might not remember that student or whatever the case is down the line because you are with students all the fucking time. But it's like it's just about making that impact nonetheless. And the fact that you can acknowledge that is just it's great. And that's I see how you apply that in the indie community as well. Like you're just always out and about and just sharing the love and talking to everyone. It's like people know who you
Yeah.
are and which is fucking dope. And I think you just do a lot of
It's cool.
good stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel like it's just, you pick up things sometimes like without realizing it, I guess, like through doing different jobs and different pursuits. Like I feel like I always used to hate public speaking. But I feel like just through doing teaching, like I don't know if I'm really a good public speaker, but like I can do it if I like need to,
Right.
which is helpful. It's like if I'm like at a show, I feel like I'm like I've learned certain like social skills and like ways to like engage people to like uh engage with my work, which
Right.
is yeah.
Yeah.
You're always picking up stuff, I
Of
guess.
course. And like I I even on top of that, like you also do events too. Like and uh I think even when it comes to public speaking, we can both acknowledge that it's like when you need to have that riz on when you're talking to someone when they come over to your table. And it doesn't matter who it is, like it's just being a genuine, good, kind person and wanting to engage with people about your work, like that shows. And people love seeing that. And they want to get to know you when you show how passionate you are. And I see like I think I started seeing your stuff online with the TikTok Marvel drawing that you have,
Oh
which is
yeah,
now your banner. And it's like that was just such an incredible piece of work that you made there, dude. And it's like
I'll
the
take
fact
that.
that you're doing the DC one now too is fucking sick. Like, you were very consistent, and you also showed Living a Fantasy, the self-published proof of it. I was curious, like, when it comes to publishing, like, how did you decide to go into that foray of like, you know what, I'm just gonna self-publish this bitch. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna get it out there, but I'm gonna just do it myself. And like going down the line, eventually, it's like now it's landed here at Apollo, and like, how has that been of like going through with Apollo of like being like, hey, I want Living a Fantasy to be published with you guys, whatever the case is, and just it's an awesome journey.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I feel like um honestly, I think it kind of almost goes back to like when I did my first comic, which I have readily available, which was Turtle
Turtle
Man.
Man.
Um, yes, so this one I did through my school, through CCSU, and I got my school to pay for it for me, which was really nice.
Nice.
And I feel like just having the physical, like I remember the day when they like called me and they're like, "Hey, we got like the package of like the comics printed by Comics Wellspring actually too," which is funny. Yeah, and like I don't know, just seeing it like physically and being able to like hold it in my hand, I was like, "This is awesome." Um, and like it's like it's to get more of them printed. It wasn't like a crazy amount of money. Like myself, like it was enough for like I could do it.
Right.
And then just like sell it back to people and like take a not too bad of a loss by doing it that way. Um, and I mean, I just want it to be available to people.
Right.
I just want to like have it printed, physical. I like to be able to hold it in my hand, and I want people to be able to read it. Um, I knew it wasn't like sustainable. Like I wouldn't be able to do it long term. Like yeah, I couldn't do it for like the rest of my life. I'd have to like eventually try to get it published. And I've tried like I tried messaging certain publishers and like you know
Right.
doesn't work out sometimes. I always like I liked your work. I liked all the work that like Brandon and Jade, um Eric and Ben, all of those guys were doing. I also liked like the message behind Apollo City, like how it was kind of like a voice for more like more marginalized groups. Um I loved that. Um talking about kind of like the more chill um like how you were complimenting me, I guess, for like how I am, I guess, like at shows. I feel like that's how, because I was also I had a table next to Apollo City at IC3. I was able to kind of like see how they worked, and I liked that. And yeah, I'm just like grateful that all you guys have been helping me out with it. And I would be if I did this Kickstarter by myself. There's no way it would have gotten fun. There's no way it would have been like even set up like at all. There's no chance. I would have been completely lost. I was like I remember when they were doing it, I was like what how do you do tiers? Like what are the tiers? Like what do you yeah, it would have been a disaster. So very grateful, I guess, just the bottom line.
No, I mean, I think I remember like that conversation like after Bix at the with the Whole Foods, and you're just like, yeah, like I want to be in this shit, and I was like, I was like,
Yeah.
damn. I thought that was just such a cool little moment. It's like, and it shows like how headstrong you can be about something. Like, I want this, and this is it, and you're just like, so what's up? And that you just carry yourself very well, and like I think that's
Oh,
something
thanks.
we all very much thought was just super cool to pull you onto the team and say, you know what? Artie can do a lot, and I he is just a super chill guy on top of all of that. It's very difficult to find that combo sometimes in this community.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
it's you're like similar to I would say Jade is like you're very well rounded in a lot of ways. Like you know how to just do things in a headstrong way, and like even thinking about Turtle Man, like I I haven't had the chance to read Turtle Man, but I am super excited for Absolute Turtle Man, and I was curious about how you have a lot of themes and motifs of animals, and I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit before, but like, what has that inspiration been like for animal care and animal protection, and especially how that plays out in living a fantasy?
Um, yeah, I feel like that is like a theme that I've kind of noticed. Well, it's funny because I feel like it's almost kind of arisen, um, like unconsciously until like recently when I've sort of realized like that's been like a through line for like the stuff I've done. Because I mean, with Turtle Man, it was just like I remember I was trying to think of like what would be like a good superhero name, like what's something that's not taken. And yeah, there's like the Batman, Spider-Man. There's always like a animal man.
Right.
And I was like, Turtle Man's not taken, and it's also nice because like Turtles, like Ninja Turtles, that's like another probably one of like the biggest like indie um comics like of all time.
Right.
Um, I was like, okay, that's perfect. And then with Living a Fantasy, it was kind of just like the first few issues I did of it were for like my college class, and it was a prompt by my professor where it was to make like three illustrations which I made into 3 pages of a comic. And it had to be about like an anthropomorphic character. So I came up with like the idea of the um,
Okay.
owl wizard. And I'm a big animal lover, animal rights advocate, a vegetarian. I have my cat Tofu who's licking himself right now in the corner. And he's been like a great inspiration for uh, like I feel like I'm always just kind of like looking at his mannerisms and kind of trying to like
Right.
tie that into Otis to into this guy. Um,
Dude, so sick.
and thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of it was sort of like unconscious until now that I'm realizing like that's like a good theme uh to lean into, I guess.
Right. I mean, I mean, I personally love it because, like, I think anyone who has a pet or just loves animals in general is gonna appreciate that and enjoy it. And I think even people who aren't maybe so forthright in their thinking about that, um, I think they'll still appreciate it and love it just because it's not ham-fisted. It's never like, down your throat or anything like that. It's always just true to the characters and the story. And I think that's always the best way to deliver any type of message when it's just embedded in the story, when it's not like spoon fed
Yeah.
and just out there. So,
Yeah, just natural. And I feel like with animals too, it's nice because like there's just like sort of like an innocence to them that I feel like like well, I guess it's like it makes like a good contrast for like of the like with like Otis, like he's an animal, but he's also doing like these crazy like magical spells with
right.
like Turtle Man. I'm in Absolute Turtle Man, I'm introducing like a turtle character, and that's like a good contrast because it's like an innocent animal with like a more dark kind of world. And I feel like there's like you can kind of like project yourself onto like that as like the reader, like it's like a blank slate.
Right. It's a lot kind of like a Scott McCloud where he talks about like the more simplistic or cartoony a face looks, the more an audience person or consumer can really relate to that and empathize with that
Right.
character. And I think and that's also why like say in Disney movies and Pixar movies all the animals do not move like animals because a dog could never do half the shit in those movies. So, but it's about that you know what I'm saying, the suspension of
I know what you're talking.
disbelief,
Yeah.
where it's just very
Yeah.
much with that. It's like it's very easy to connect to those characters, even though it is completely outlandish. But like when it's done correctly, you can cry over like anything if it's just done well. And I think what you do so well with living a fantasy on top of that is just like what you were mentioning, even say with the contrast within Turtle Man, like I think there's plenty of contrast riddled throughout living a fantasy where it's just a lot of the times it feels dark and hopeless, but then there are those moments where Otis can really come back and just be like, you know what, no, I got this. And like
Yeah.
there's he's very much like an underdog type of character, and I very much I love an underdog always. So it like I I think you just do that really well, where it just makes it very relatable for people who want to be the underdog in their story, and it's like, you know what, Otis, my guy.
That's what that's all that's my dream. That's what I want people to take away from it. Because and it's funny. I remember I was telling Brandon about this, like, because when I did it originally, the because the first like 3 pages that I did in my college class, it was like the wizard fucks up the spell, and then he gets like the owl head. And I originally thought that it would be like the owl, or it would be the wizard, like just with an owl head. Like it
Mm,
wouldn't be like the pet, like the pet's mind. Um, and then I realized like after, because I was thinking like he's got to be able to do the spells, he's got to be able to do like, he's got to know like stuff about the world,
right.
and like talk and stuff. And it just makes sense if it's like the human originally. But then I realized like, wait, that'd be like kind of boring. It'd be way more interesting if it was like a Master Splinter type thing. If it's like
Yeah.
an animal who's like suddenly got all these powers and like has the ability to talk and like where you could take that and yeah, I'm really glad I thought of that because it definitely made it a lot better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love I clearly with your love for the Ninja Turtles, like it's dude, I fucking love the Ninja Turtles. Like I
But
off the bat, who's your favorite turtle?
I Raphael, if I had to choose one, just because I love red. And he's also, I don't know, cool but rude.
That's so it's so funny to think of how like your inner spirit animal is Raphael just being super pissed off all the time, and on the outside you're like, what's up?
Yeah. I I always liked Raphael. I like that he was like, you know, kind of angsty. He
Yeah.
was in a bad mood. Your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Donatello, huge Donnie fan.
Okay.
Like just always being a tech nerd and things like that, and just like always wanting to mess with a bow staff, like taking
The bow staff is sweet.
oh yeah, taking the broom off of the end of the stick to just use a stick growing up. Hell yeah, dude. Donnie was my
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah. That's the jam.
I with Otis, you were showing it off, but like definitely show it off a little closer if you want. The statue that just got made, dude, so sick. And like
Absolutely.
now you're getting to like
Yeah.
animation too and all that, and like the animation clips you've been posting online have been so cool. Like I
Thank
definitely
you.
have been trying to get into the foray of animating, and that's like I don't know what program you use at the moment, but
I've been using Procreate just to do like frame by frame
mhm,
drawings, but it takes forever. It takes
yeah,
like the ones that I did on Instagram, like the one of him like walking, which is like a 10-second clip maybe. It takes like 24 hours to draw that. Um, so I remember Max was telling me about some other ones. Max Flowers, who's also part of Apollo City, he was saying like, um, I think it was Moho and something else, but he said that those are also good ones to use for animation. Because yeah, I'm trying to get a little more into it. I feel like I don't know if I would, because people always say that like my work kind of reminds them of like certain animated shows.
right.
And people said like I could try like shopping it around to like different studios. I don't know how easy that would be. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just cool to be able to see it. It's cool to see this, see it like physically, like be able to like turn it around and like see it from different angles.
Yeah, man.
Um, and like yeah, just to see it like the one of him walking, I remember that was like something I've like wanted to do for a while, just like be able to visualize it. And I feel like it probably helps with like marketing, show people give people like more of like a sense of like the characters if they've never read any of my stuff before.
Yeah.
Like this is the main character. This is living a fantasy, you know, on Kickstarter right now if you want to back it.
Yeah, dude. I think it's a like the animation I because the only animation I've made so far is for a previous show, and I did recently just made the animated banner thing for my website. But those are like the only things
Oh.
I've really animated so far, and those took me forever to do. Like
Yeah.
it's really hard to animate, and I'm also using Procreate Dreams, and it's a real bitch, and it's not very intuitive. But it
Yeah.
like there's a lot to learn of animating, but I think it's so cool, and even to that point of people telling you that a lot of your art can reminds of animation. I would agree with that, and I think something that I at least attracted me a lot to your work and whatnot, and just to you in general, just saying. But like just
Well, thank you.
like your art style, I think is not too far off of like the cartoonish style that I bring alongside to my art, and it's like that cartoonish look and whatnot. I've always told people I like to deliver something where it's kind of like a vibe of Saturday morning cartoons, like with just an adult theme on top of all of that. Like I'm very much inspired by things like BoJack and things like that, and like colorful animation that like just has darker shit going on half the time. And I think animation is just so incredible. I would love to see your work like get properly animated. Like it's a TV show or a movie down the line. That'd be incredible to see. Like
Be
it's
super cool.
just
Yeah.
it would
Yeah.
be awesome, dude. Like we'll just get Eric to go into the editing bay for the next year. He'll get it done.
Yeah. That's fine. Eric, get to work. And your stuff too. I feel like your stuff would like make like hearing like you say like BoJack Horseman, like I can definitely see that in your work too.
Yeah, man. And I with like everything that you do, animating, fucking writing, drawing, like when it comes to pencils, inks, letters, like you're working on two different books at the same time. You're teaching art all on top of all that. Like with all that in mind, how do you balance all that? Where is your driving force behind all of that keeps you just chugging along, keep going? Because it's inspiring.
Um, Thanks, man. I don't know, to be honest. I feel like people have asked me that before, and I feel like I don't really have like a good answer. Like, I don't. I feel like there isn't really like a formula to it or like a certain schedule. Like my schedule every day is always different. Sometimes I don't even know what my schedule is going to be like for for like the next week. And things change like on a dime. Um, I don't know. I feel like I always just try to like have certain like priorities, I guess. Like my jobs that pay me, that's always like number one priority. And then I kind of just like work things around that. And the fact that like I do a lot of stuff digitally is like a big help for like my turnaround time with things. Like the fact that I can do stuff like work when I have breaks
Right.
is like huge for me. Like I love traditional art. I know some people don't like the fact that I don't do traditional art, or I don't know if they don't like it, but there's people that are like more like purists, I guess.
Mhm.
But like I can't bring a drawing table and inks and pencils and all that. I can't bring all that stuff to like my work. Like it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't bring it like on public transport or like in the car with me.
Just your huge art
So
easel.
yeah, that'd be nice, but like yeah, I couldn't do it. It'd be dangerous. And like I feel like it's also just, as you do things, you just kind of figure out like different like hacks, I guess, or like ways to do things faster. Um, and yeah, I have like people that like support me. Like my fiance is very forgiving of the time I devote to this work. Um, I've got a great family, which helps. And I don't know, yeah, it's just there's a lot of like late nights sometimes, just because it's like easier and quieter sometimes. To, like stay up till like 1 or 2 a.m. to just finish something.
Knock out a page or two. Yeah.
And yeah, and like yeah, I guess I don't know. I think just being consistent is helpful because it does like going to the gym. It's like exercising, and like you just get better as you go, and like you figure out faster ways to do things, and I was just this is a very long answer, so sorry, but like I feel like it's similar to like this and like my comics. I've been saying this. I feel like I just like having things that like I know it's gonna take a while, and I kind of just have to be patient with it, and like I work on it every day, and I'll just slowly build it up. I'll slowly like do the drawing, this drawing, and the DC one, and I'll slowly like work on like the comics. It's doesn't happen overnight. It's just
Right.
you just slowly build it up.
Yeah, I think no, I mean I think that's just such an incredible answer because it just goes to show how passionate you are for what you do, that even if it takes up being until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. some nights just to get something done. Like I've definitely like almost fallen asleep like at my art table before, like
Yeah.
and it's like at that point it's just like you need to just chill the fuck out, dude. Like
Yeah.
calm down. And it's just
Yeah.
I think, but again, it just goes to show the passion and the driving force that you have with having such a supportive team and family behind you, and just a supportive partner and everyone that's rooting for you. Always so important to have in your life. Like you should always have people that are rooting for you and want the best for you. And just on top of all that, like, dude, I completely agree with that idea and sentiment of just like the time it takes to make what we do, and then to finally have that in our hands is such a satisfying thing. And just being like, you know what, this is great. On to the next, so I can get better. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, it's we're like our harshest critics, and like uh we just, as proud as we can be in the moment, we still want it to be better. It's like I remember looking at the my first proof of my comic and like just immediately catching things. I'm like, I got to fix this next time or this next time, and whatever the case is. And it's just, but we keep doing it because we fucking love it.
Yeah. And I feel like it's, you can't, I'm the same way. Like I remember when I saw like 'cause I was doing like a live with Ian Cinco the other night and he was like flipping through it and like it's also crazy just like how fast you can like read through something that like you spend a lot of time making. It definitely puts it into perspective, I guess. Um and yeah, there's always like especially with comics too. Like I'll look at like the first chapter of Living a Fantasy and it's not at all how I would draw it today. Um but you read it. The person who's reading it is just gonna read it for like 5 minutes probably at max, and then they're on to like the next chapter, and then they just keep going.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I feel like it's just you just gotta keep moving forward, don't dwell on the past, and like, or I guess learn from it, like learn like what you would do differently, and then just do it differently next time.
Yeah. And I mean, considering when you do run into those moments, because you say, regardless of everything, you just stay very consistent, but you don't necessarily have a set schedule about things, or just like you don't really know like how you maneuver through all of it. You just kind of do it. And like, I think when you have those moments of like, I don't know what to do, like when you have those creative blocks, like what do you like? What's your way about like combating like that creativity block, especially when you have so many projects at hand? Do you, is it just a thing where you just kind of cycle through and like you just don't really have those blocks often, or?
Um, I the for I was my goal for the summer, which did not end up happening, which is okay. But my goal was I was hoping to do the next chapter of Living a Fantasy and to finish the first chapter of Absolute Turtle Man. Then once I knew the Kickstarter for Living a Fantasy was coming up, I like you can only devote so much time to certain things at once.
Mhm.
And again, kind of have to prioritize certain things, and that, it'd be nice to be able to do everything at once, but like sometimes you got to face reality where like you can't. So I'm put a pause on working on both of those until the Kickstarter is done. I knew I didn't want to just not be drawing. So that's when I decided to do the DC to do this again. Um, which, is definitely going to be another long project.
Yeah.
But I feel like I did like it with this, where it was something. It's sort of mindless. Like it's just a portrait of like a character each day. But it is that like routine, and it's like something to do at
Right.
the end. Yeah, when I come home from work, I can just like I know I have this to come home to. And what else was I gonna say? I had something else I was planning on saying. Um, yeah. Oh, and also like whenever I'm like having like a block, I guess for like what do I draw for this page, or like what do I write for like what am I gonna thumbnail for like this comic? I remember I saw something a while ago where it was like you just kind of have to start doing the bare minimum. So if that means just like drawing one line on the paper, like because I feel like that's what it is sometimes for me, where it's like I look at like a blank page. I'm sure like other people can relate to this. Like you look at a blank page and it's just very intimidating.
Yeah.
But literally, like I feel like once you just start, like it gets easier.
Yeah,
I
you
always
find your
just start
flow.
with the bare minimum. Yeah. Like I feel like you just kind of have to start, and you just have to like not look back, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree with that. Like a lot of the times when I deal with any block, I'm very much just like, I'll just pace back and forth a lot, like procrastinate for a minute, just keep staring at the page, and like just finally be like, okay, you know what? All right, I'm just gonna do one speech bubble. I'm just gonna do one bubble. That's it, like bare minimum, and then from there, I'm off to the races. And
Yeah.
I think that's maybe something that sometimes people don't really think about. Of like, hey, you know what? Like maybe if I just do the bare minimum, sometimes like that can just really jumpstart exactly what you needed, and it's just something to really keep in mind. I think. And I think it's great that we both share that sentiment because. And don't get me wrong, there's still days where you should just say, "Hey, you know what? Take a break. It's time to clock out, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let your
I
body
agree.
rest."
Sometimes, yeah, you need that rest.
Yeah, just got to recharge sometimes. And I think, like, and you mentioned it when going through, flipping through the pages of Ian Cinco, like how reading that first chapter definitely is feels like a few minutes. Um, Not that I'm a slow reader, but I mean, when I read, I spend at least like 15 minutes reading like a single issue always, just because like I really like to dissect stuff when I read it. And I think it's really great, like to see Living a Fantasy from issue 1 to 6. Where, uh, what was the time span on that? Like from starting issue 1 to ending issue 6.
Well, the first one, like the time, uh, the timeline's kind of weird. Like the first one is like almost like 2 years in between that one and the sixth one. I think, yeah. Well, yeah, because the first like 3 pages I did in college in
Mm-hmm.
like 2023. Um, the rest of the first issue I did kind of like over a year. Um, and then I remember the second one to the sixth one. Well, the second one to the fifth one, I did over like a year because I knew I was eventually gonna get it like print. I kind of figured out like what I wanted the story to be and how I wanted like the characters to what I wanted their little like journeys to be, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, so I, again, it's like that thing where like once you like just keep doing it, you just get faster and like you learn
Right.
like the different like with this, like I figured out like the color palettes I wanted to use. I figured out like the characters I wanted to use, their character designs. Um, and then like I had plans for like what I wanted their stories to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just I got faster. Um, and then yeah, so like each issue from like the second one to the sixth one, there's like about like a month and a half to 2 months in between like when I drew each one.
Okay.
Um, so I was able to do it pretty. I also knew because I wanted to have the first self-published one for IC3. So,
Right.
and that's actually been nice with like certain shows. Like when I know that I have like a show coming up, and I can like kind of plan like if it's enough time for me to like get something done.
Like a
It's like my
release.
that's like my deadline, I guess, because I don't have any other deadlines other than like the ones I give myself.
Right. I like I think even when I did read Leading a Fantasy, the thing that attracted me the most was just like the progression throughout the entire story, like on an art level and on a creator level. Like it's so cool seeing the progression from like how much more tight the story becomes and art becomes as each panel progresses. Like quite literally through each of the panels, like you're just growing more and more as an artist and as a creator. And it's just incredible to see. I think especially by the end of issue 6, I was like, fuck, dude, I just want I just want to keep reading it. And like I think you just have such a great way of like keeping people on their toes and great like storytelling and just overall it's just so fun, dude. Like I think more than anything,
Thank
like
you,
for
man.
me, the biggest takeaway for me from living a fantasy is just be kinder to one another, be a little nicer, and maybe don't put certain labels onto people.
Mm.
And that's at least what I take away from that. But like, at least, what would you say you want people to walk away from when they read Living a Fantasy? I know you kind of mentioned it before, but if there's anything more explicit you wanted to say.
I well, that's a great takeaway that I hope people can have. Hopefully that. Um, I feel like with Otis, it's kind of like the idea of like, just like be nicer to animals. Like you never know what they might be capable of. And even like not because of that, just because like, just be nicer to people and things and like the world. Um, there's like the character Orcus Quickshot, who's like the elf that accidentally shoots um Pegasus, and then he has a whole crazy like um de-evolution throughout the series. He's kind of like where he's at right now, with like the nature god. That's something that I'm gonna explore more in the next arc. And that's gonna involve like more I mean there's like hints of it, I guess, like in like the first one, but like I'm planning on taking it more in like I guess like humanity's connection with nature and like what does that mean? And yeah, so that's I guess I don't really know exactly what I guess the message is, but the fact that that's what you took away, that's good to know, and hopefully people have similar ideas.
Yeah, I think maybe not having those exact intentions in mind uh, is sometimes better because then you don't want it to ever come off as force. And I think again with your storytelling, it's so natural. And I think the fact that I can walk away with that stuff, I hope other people walk away with that as well, because I genuinely do think that's a lot of what this story is. Just being kinder and nicer to one another. And I think
Yeah,
I think we can all agree it's a little bit more important nowadays to do that. So,
I agree, and I also I hope people also because it is sort of just like I wanted to make like a fun comic, I guess, like a fun, exciting, entertaining, like immersive. I always love like fantasy stories and like
mhm.
fantasy worlds. Like I'm a big Terry Pratchett fan. I love Lord of the Rings. I love the Elder Scrolls games. That like vibe and like feeling that I get when I'm like reading or playing any of those properties. That's kind of like what I'm hoping like this can maybe one day be like held to a similar steam, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe. I don't know. That might be too ambitious, but like, yeah, that would be cool.
hey, let's make it a reality, Ryan. All right. I
I
I
hope so.
I think we got this. I think more before we sign off, like what you got any events coming up, Ryan? Anything where people can catch you at?
I don't really have anything planned at the moment. Yeah, I don't think so. When if I'm pretty sure they're doing another IC3. I'll definitely be at that.
Nice.
Because I'm local to that show too.
Right.
Oh, actually, I will be at New York Comic Con. I won't be tabling, but I did get tickets. Me and my brother. I'm gonna
Nice.
meet Jim Lee. But it's gonna happen.
It's
It's been a
gonna
long time
happen.
coming. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, if you're going to New York Comic Con, definitely, if if we know each other, or even if we don't, you can message me and maybe we can cross paths. And yeah, I don't know. Anything else is like to be announced.
Nice. I'm hoping to even table at New York Comic Con this year, so
Oh, right,
fingers
yeah.
crossed on that. But and if that happens, you know what? You know what? Free poster on me. But where can people find you on Instagram?
Instagram, it's RD Murphy Art, and on TikTok, and like pretty much any other social media thing. It's always
Nice.
RD Murphy Art.
Sick. And I guess the last thing I wanted to ask is just what do you have to say to the people?
Um, I I've other podcasts have asked me this, and my message that I always want to tell people is, again, like I said this at the beginning of the episode, when I was going into high school, I remember someone told me like, don't pursue art. You're not gonna make any money. Um, it's not worth it. And then come to find out, like I remember when I was doing tattooing, some people make a lot of money. Even not tattooing. Like I know I have a friend who does uh not safe for work drawings of Zelda characters, and they make a crazy amount of money doing that. And there's avenues, there's ways that you can like make money, but also that's not the point in general. Like it's just I feel like if you're able to like get your voice out into the world and like
Right.
express yourself. That's also like what's probably more important. Yeah, just bottom line, I just feel like don't listen to the haters. I wish I didn't listen to that person when I was younger because I feel like I almost lost time and I've been trying to like catch up ever since. Um, don't listen to the haters, listen to yourself. Um, yeah, that's my message.
Sick. Well, guys, that was Kicking It with Javi. Thank you so much for checking us out. And make sure to sign up for Ryan's Kickstarter, Living a Fantasy. There's not that much time left on it. So sign up before you can, guys. And, the more we get behind it, the more freebies you guys get. So don't forget about that, and just kick back, guys. Take it easy.
Yeah.